Welcome back. It's good to see you all, and I'm back after a little kind of week off. I've been trying to plan things and get videos ready, so this week I thought I would just talk about something not quite Disney related, but I'm going to talk about my goals for the rest of the year. Now in June, this kind of time of year, we are like pretty much halfway through the year, and I think lots has changed between the start of the year and now, so I thought it was a good time to reassess, redo the vision board and see what's changed and what my new goals are. I've put my vision board into a few different sections, so I'm just going to go through each one and I'll try and put a few pictures up so that you can kind of see my visual process as well as kind of hear what I'm, talking about. So let me start with my travel goals. One of my main goals has been to put some trips in the diary, not necessarily for the rest of 2025, but maybe for 2026. With doing my master's and job changes and things like that, it's been hard to plan things too far in advance. So I'm glad that this goal I kind of worked towards already, booked Disneyland Paris, got a few other things to look at, but that's one goal that I really, really wanted to do because I like to plan. I am a planner, and I think that's a semi-achievable goal, and to make a plan, it does make me happy. And kind of tying in with that, I would like to try a new destination or hotel. This again, something I've slowly kind of worked towards with our Disneyland Paris trip coming up. We are staying in Sequoia Lodge, which we've never done before. Now, I would like to try and get a new destination booked in, whether that's a Disney trip or whether it's another kind of trip altogether, but I would like to try and get something new in that's a new place, not just a new hotel at a place that I love going to. And then the last kind of travel goal that I have for personal travel is to be adventurous and to try maybe a solo trip or some sort of adventure type thing. I'm not really sure when, how, why. That's just something that for myself I think I'd quite like to do. In terms of my travel business and my travel page, YouTube, Instagram, I just want to keep putting out relevant stuff, and my goal is to really kind of give people the kind of content that they like to see and also promote myself more as a business as well as just a Disney loving person who likes to post about it. So I'm kind of trying to do that, making more of a plan. Plans do sometimes go out the window, and I'll hold my hands up to that. 100% things happen, but that's kind of something that I'm looking to do a bit more of as well. So the next section that I'm going to talk about is wellness goals. So for the past year, I've had an online coach, and I've always kind of, since working at a gym, liked going to the gym. So I'm just trying to keep building and growing that kind of sustainable exercise routine. Things have they do chop and change because of work and, availability and stuff, but that kind of sustainable exercise is something that I'm looking to implement more. And then something else that I always kind of never stick to is journaling. I had a really lovely one for Christmas where it gives you prompts every day, so I don't even have to think about what I'm writing. I can just follow what it says. So it's perfect and I love it, but I stopped writing in it. This always happens, which is why I never like starting new notebooks, because I know I'm not gonna continue with it. So I'd quite like to find a way to still do that, but keep it, again, sustainable and keep the habit up, because there must be something that means I stop doing it. It could be a change in like night routine or being away for the night and I don't always take a big notebook with me. So that's something I want to try and figure out as well. And another thing on here for wellness is to go out and try some more hobbies. I think since moving and kind of with college and uni and stuff like that with work, I've basically for the past year only been to uni, work and the gym. So I'd quite like to expand my horizons there a little bit, because I love doing stuff. I'm a hobby person. I love to sing, I love to dance, and let's be honest, I've done none of it. So recently I have looked into joining a choir, and I've been to one rehearsal, so I'm going to see how that goes. But just slowly finding things that are local to me and easy to get to is helping me with that goal as well. And then the last thing is to create a good setup to ease into the autumn. So I know we're pretty much in the middle of summer, it's really warm at the moment, so I'm not thinking about it too much. But having gone from winter into the warmer weather from spring, I've noticed how different it is. So I'm able to get up earlier, feel safe going out now because it's so light. But then I know in the winter, and I was going out at 6:30 in the morning, even though it's the same time, it's dark, and I'm not a big fan of going out in the dark that early. So I want to kind of try and create a routine that means I can still maximize my daytime, but also not have to get up really early and not enjoy going out in the dark and then coming home in the dark. So yeah, just want to create a nice kind of ease into the autumn winter weather. The next one that I'm going to talk about is my reading goals. So the start of the year, I had a goal to finish the Bridgerton series because I've had it for ages and I've not finished it. But I can happily say every single book has now been read, and I'd highly recommend. Some things I'd say much better than the series. Just the way that it works. I love the series. It doesn't take away. To me, they're like the same but different. And as always with a book, the book has more stuff. It kind of makes more sense. And yeah, I am very pleased with myself that I managed to get that done, because for me to read, I don't know how many books that was, quite a few books in the first 6 months of the year, I'm quite pleased. It's not usually, I'm a slow reader. And also in that time, I've managed to read, how many books? I've managed to read Fourth Wing, which is a fantasy series. Not usually my thing, my sister recommended it. Chunky book. But I finished that, and now I'm on to the second one in the series. I love a series, so I'm trying to keep going to with a series to motivate me to read more, if that makes sense. And then there's a few other books I want to have a look at, and I've got A Court of Thorns and Roses on the shelf because I've not read that. Heard good things. So the reading journey is something I'd like to carry on with. I have a goal on here to read every day, which I pretty much manage. I tend to read more in the morning when I get up, straight away, but then sometimes me and my partner, we both like to just sit in bed and read instead of watching telly all the time. I'd also like to try and read some different books, try some different genres. I don't know what, because it's basically been fantasy and romance so far throughout the year. So I need to try and expand my book horizons, but that's something I can kind of grow with, look at Christmas presents and things like that, get more recommendations. If you have any book recommendations, let me know in the comments. I will always take book recommendations because I never know what to read. I get stuck on one thing and then I try to find something that's obviously not the same but as close as possible so I can get the same kind of vibe from the book, but that's not always handy. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, please let me know. And the last thing I've been contemplating since my birthday, do I need a Kindle? Do I need a Kindle? I don't know. We've got limited space, so storage-wise it makes sense, traveling-wise it makes sense, so many reasons that it makes sense. Kindle Unlimited, I've heard good recommendations about. There's loads of books you can get much cheaper than the physical copies and for free. So it's been an ongoing thought, and if you know or have any recommendations about Kindle versus book, I will say I do like having a book and putting it on the shelf, but maybe to try out new books, it might be a good idea. So that's not necessarily a goal, just a thought that I'd like to have concluded by the end of the year. So another kind of mini section on the vision board was clean and cozy. So I just kind of mean keeping things tidy, having a good system so that I can just feel cozy, I think, and just happy in my space. Because I'm not saying I'm not, I very much am, but I know there's definitely better things that I can put in place to make sure things get put back properly or don't just end up on the kitchen table or by the side of the bed. So that's kind of the goal here. And also in this is to embrace the seasons. This kind of ties into what I meant with having a sustainable kind of exercise routine throughout the year and kind of noticing the changes more, because it does make a difference. And kind of leaning into the kind of fashiony stuff, just taking and making the most of each season and what it brings, because I feel like, I know I do this every single year. I'm sat in the middle of summer, wanted hot weather all year, and now I'm like, oh, I can't wait for autumn, and as soon as autumn hits it'll be, can't wait for Christmas. So I just want to just try and enjoy each season as they come. And yeah, there's things for each season that, yeah, hit or miss, but just take each day, take each season and enjoy them. Another goal on here is to kind of get a new job. I want to continue building my travel business and my Disney content. So that's kind of a mini goal I spoke about earlier in terms of jobs. I'd like to keep doing that. And then I kind of just want to find the day-to-day job at the end of my masters that I love and feel passionate about and really, really want to do. I have a couple of freelance things lined up in the summer. So I have handed in my notice to my, normal kind of pay the bills job because of these freelance things that I've got lined up. So that's a step in the right direction. I just want to find that place. I'm sure lots of people can kind of identify with that. You just want to find the one place you can feel happy. It doesn't have to be a forever job, but just somewhere you can grow and just, especially at the end of a degree, put what you've learned into practice. I think that's the main thing, is I've learned so much and I'm ready to do what I've been learning. I just need to find the right place to do it. So I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, not too many things really. I think it's just mainly about refocusing and honing in on what I've learned and what I like doing, because being so busy with a degree and a job, you do kind of lose, not lose focus, but you're pulled in every direction and priorities change. So I think having this little refocus will help me towards the end of the year and planning for next year, especially with trips and holidays and all those fun things too. So yeah, I feel really happy that I've kind of had the chance to do this, and also just making this video and talking through it has made a massive difference, because I've told people what my goals are, so now I have some accountability, which is always handy, because if you just tell it to yourself, you can just change things. And now that I've told you, keep me accountable. Go and follow me on Instagram and just see how I'm doing. Follow for Disney content, travel content, and yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that, to be honest. But yeah, it's been lovely to talk through all this with you, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. Let me know in the comments if you have any goals for the rest of the year and what goals you've already achieved, because half a year doesn't mean no achievements. It just means you're moving, you're keeping going. So yeah, let me know, and I hope to see you next week, and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.